I wanted to ask you about, is it possible, I mean, I know you've criticized a lot about the church, the Catholic Church, or Christianity, or whatever, in general. But is it not possible for the church to grow with the new knowledge that has influenced you? The atomic knowledge, the scientific knowledge, the technical knowledge, to absorb that and fit it into a new framework.
We don't need them. We don't need any churches. We don't need any priests. We are the priests. The universe is the church. Okay?
Well, we were the church.
We don't need them. If they can stay around, but as long as they pay taxes, they can stay here.
But why
as long as they pay taxes, that's all.
Why do you look at the church as us and them when people believed the most in the Middle Ages, about which you found a certain spiritual charm, I might add, in your book? You've admitted that there was a certain spirituality that you admire.
Pre-Renaissance, pre-14th century,
right.
Yeah.
At that time, everybody was part of the church. It wasn't the priests and us. It was all of us together. We all believed the same thing.
No, we were all imposed upon by the religious political establishment, and if we didn't go according to what they said, they killed us. That's what it was.
They used coercion.
Coercion? They used torture and death.
Friendly persuasion, if you will.
There was no, and Constantine, who imposed the Christianity on his Roman Empire, said if you didn't believe in what he said, he cut your throat. And the fact of the matter is, Constantine himself did not even believe in Christianity. He believed in Apollo. So I mean,
no, we don't really know necessarily what he believed.
He used Christianity because his empire was already becoming Christian.
You're absolutely right about what you say in the book, that it was the glue that held the empire together, and that is why the Byzantine Empire, what is called the Byzantine Empire, but was really the Eastern Roman, lasted for 1,000 years, almost 1,000 years after the Western Roman Empire in Rome collapsed. So that was quite a strong glue.
Yeah, but there's no glue anymore because, Turkey is now a Muslim world. Okay, so when the Muslim army beat the Eastern Orthodox army in Turkey, they turned them into Muslims. They turned the Hagia Sophia Cathedral, which was the most fantastic cathedral built in the 4th century AD, they turned that into a mosque. And so now the glue in Turkey is not Christianity, the glue is Mohammedanism. So
it is indeed. And
that general won. If someday we get a Christian general to come back over there and win, then we could become Christian again. It's generals that create religions and propagate religions, but look, not truth.
Just to look at the bright side of things, or the positive side of things. Tell me about what you appreciate about that pre-Renaissance Christian spirituality. Tell us about that and what elements there might still be useful today.
Well, the thing I relate and liked about that was, I think it's basically if you get down to one of the true messages of Christianity, in that you are not supposed to be attached to this mortal human body, that you really are living for the perfection of your soul and the reunification of this soul with heaven, in heaven with God. And I mean, that's slightly Copernican in a way, in the sense that Copernicus does not believe in the human body, in the sense that it exists. And so to be attached to this body, and attached to the identity of this body, Copernicus, the false identity. There is no identity in the world of Copernicus. Is an illusion, and it's wrong. So there's that relationship that I believe that they've believed in.
But what is that something? The question really becomes, what is that something? Once you've denied this body, this fleeting, ephemeral reality,
this non-existent illusion,
this non-existent you. Okay, yeah. If we'll buy into your theory and system. The question becomes then, what do you attach to? What do you reunify with? The Christian mystics said you reunify with God. And even to this day, if you go to a place like Mount Athos, the monastic colony, the whole endeavor is something called theosis, becoming one with God. Have you somehow shifted this a little bit and said, becoming one with the smallest building block, the Ma, the the indivisible particle? Is
not
that indivisible
you're
particle
not
God?
Get what you want, George.
I'm trying to get you to say
okay, I know you
that
are,
Ma is
I
God.
Know, yeah, I know you're trying to do that, but you're going to fail.
But you're looking for God, and you're looking for it
I know. Okay, but there
in
is
the
no
smallest
you, okay?
unit, which is the wrong place.
Okay, there is no identity that can unify with Ma. Okay, there is no identity. That is the big difference. People.
But there's a
people,
mind. There's a
people
mind
say
that
that
can
my work
unify
is
with Ma.
Buddhistic, that this is Buddhism. This is not. This is Christianity. This is not Buddhism. This is not Christianity. This is Copernicus. I never heard or read anybody saying this stuff in my life, and I am pretty well aware of most philosophies that have been around for a long time. I've never heard this stuff before. So what I'm saying is
But there's
that there
elements
is
of
no
sympathy
identity
for
to
all of
unify something with.
All right, there's no identity, but there's atomic essence or being.
No, you're trying
Can
to.
you unify your being with?
You can't put your stuff on me. That's
No,
not what I'm saying.
The word being repeated ad infinitum is not mine, but yours.
Yeah, but being does
State
not
of being.
involve identity.
Define state of being.
Being is the spontaneous expression at every moment. So
Too vague.
that's your problem. It's not a problem
Too
for me.
vague.
Being, look,
Any kind of spontaneous expression at any moment.
Yeah. There is imperfect being, in a sense, and perfect being. There is perfect being is the inner conversation. Perfect being would be the inner conversation being passed through a mind that has Magovian consciousness. So that would be, and with the capacity to take all of that into consideration and be spontaneous at every moment. That is perfect being.
I think it's important when we say Magovian consciousness to reiterate what it means. Consciousness of existence of everything at only the atomic level. Anything above is illusory.
Magova is the atomic and subatomic world.
Right.
So a mind that has atomic and subatomic consciousness is a Magovian mind. So meaning you have this consciousness and you want and perfect being is when this conversation goes on and is passed through this mind and you as if finds its expression in action. That's perfect. Now imperfect, there's the imperfect being also. You act based on, let's say, what your senses tell you to do instead of passing it through your mind. So I would call that imperfect.
Let's go to Magova and what it
might be better than nothing, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Magova and what it implies to today. Being in Magova, understanding your life in terms of only an atomic level of existence, okay? Depends a lot, as you've discussed earlier, on science, what we know about the nature of scientific atomic and subatomic reality, right? A lot of people have criticized postmodern societies for developing a sort of a caste system where you have a small group of people that are in charge of the scientific knowledge, that are specialized and control it and develop it almost in a vacuum, usually in some kind of collaboration with a government like the United States government. And everybody else is in the dark. In other words, there's an elite, a scientific elite.
Nothing exists. Nothing exists. Nothing exists.